Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come on and do a general reading today. So this isn't necessarily a love reading, but it is a general reading. And I just want to remind people, because I've had a lot of positive response about these general readings, and I know that some of you have been asking me to do them for a long time. But I've also had some negative responses, and I just want to make it clear that just because the fact that I've been doing general readings have triggered some people because they think I'm giving up on love readings, but I do love readings almost every day. So don't misunderstand. I'm still doing love readings. I still believe in love and soul connections and all of that. But I've also been trying to branch out into like zodiac readings and now general readings. And this is for people who, especially if you're on the counterpart journey, this can be helpful to help you heal and go within. It can also be nice to just focus on something other than what your counterpart is up to, which is part of the reason that I wanted to start these general readings, because it kind of gives you something else to focus on. But yeah, I'm still doing love readings. I'm going to do a love reading right after I'm done this reading. So I felt called to use this deck today. One of you asked me, like, how many decks do you have? I have a lot. And sometimes I wish you guys could come over and play with my decks with me. I have a whole library of them in my room. We could drink coffee and play with tarot cards. But I felt really called to this deck, which is the Soul Helper Oracle. And I am going to be doing a certain spread in this book. And then for each card, there's a number. So I wanted to talk about the number that comes out on your card as well. And I also grabbed angel number cards. And as I was putting them in my little card holder beside me, this one fell underneath my chair. So I felt like that was symbolic. So I wanted to read it to you. So 470, surrender. Release a problem. Your angels encourage you to surrender a present worry you have to them. Whether you are confused, feeling out of control, or simply at a loss for solutions, you can energetically release this issue to the divine. Put yourself into a full body stretch right now. As you inhale, focus on breathing in support from your angels. As you exhale, focus on releasing control. So I felt like that was symbolic, so I wanted to read it to you. 470. All right, so the first thing we're going to be looking at, the first card will be representing the present moment in which you find yourself now. It marks the point you have reached with your gifts and abilities, your light. And you're supposed to always interpret these cards in a positive way because they're meant to help your soul. So if you can, interpret them in a positive way. You may resonate with one of these cards. You may resonate with all of them. Maybe there's a message that you need to hear. But let's get into it. So present moment is the intention that we're looking at. So what does the viewer need to know? What does the viewer need to know? What does the viewer need to know? So let's have a look. How did I know this was going to come out? So I work out every morning, and while I'm working out, I have a shelf separating or dividing my room where all my tarot cards are, so I can see the backs of all the decks. And I was really, like, the whole time I was working out today, I was looking at this deck, which is why I pulled it. And I was thinking about this card, so I find it very interesting that this card came out. So it is number 42. Cross the bridge of happiness. It leads over the depths of your emotion. So I am going to read this card, although this isn't meant to be the first card. This isn't meant to be the card in the present moment. The crow's out there. But anyway, let's read it. So this is 42, which reduces to 6. So I am going to read you number 6. Actually, let me look at what number it says on the actual card. Number 6. So your power animal for the next 21 days. So if you see this animal in the next 21 days, it's a really good sign. And it is a dragon. Essential oils that you can work with: peppermint, healing crystal for you in the next 21 days, clear quartz. I love clear quartz. I have a lot of clear quartz. And your power number is number 6. And I'm just going to read you number 6. Number 6 reveals that uniting and attracting forces are now flowing to you. Make use of them to bring ideas and dreams into fruition. You will find courage and an unusual inner strength. Take a step forward and do not allow anything or anyone to stand in your way. You will be a conduit for the creation of new things. This number's energy field is all about balance and the merging of opposing energies. It brings love, health, happiness, profit, and the fulfillment of dreams. Beautiful. So I am going to read this card to you because I was seeing it in my third eye this morning when I was looking at this deck. The bridge to happiness is your wisdom. It leads across the depths, the clouded waters of your emotions. A bridge of happiness provides a chance to acknowledge your emotions and yet at the same time to be sufficiently distanced from them, to always remain present and centered in yourself. However, it also allows you enough proximity so that you never stop learning. The bridge to happiness is also a natural path, neither cold nor warm, neither rigid nor fragile, and it offers secure footing. Only the wise may cross the bridge of happiness, as those who believe that earthly riches await them on the other side are still far from reaching that bridge, far from attaining maturity and wisdom. On the other side of the bridge is a desire that has been fulfilled: love, security, or divine order. It is here that the wise among us will find silence, find themselves, or find God. Or spirit, whatever you resonate with. You have drawn this card because you have now reached such a bridge. It is time to cross it and reap its rewards. Let go of your illusions, all of your constricting thoughts about happiness and prosperity that limit you and hold you back. The way across the bridge is a path of meditation, and every step will be a step of gratitude. You have drawn this card because you are standing at such a bridge. The path you have traveled may have been difficult, and things may not have always been good, but your spiritual companions were there with you. They looked after you and guided you here, but they will now withdraw a little. An arduous path may lie behind you, or times that were not always rosy, but your spiritual companions were there. They have been looking after you and have now guided you here. At this point, they are withdrawing a little. You have often been here before and yet have not acted wisely, so the bridge of happiness has simply dissolved and vanished into thin air. But now you have this card. It is an indication that no one can cross the bridge of happiness alone, since true happiness is a light that always resonates between at least two beings. Interesting. So there could be someone else in your energy. I'm actually hearing this is like future energy, based on the 3 cards we're about to pull. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that in the future. So now we're going to look at the present moment. Yes, Mr. Crow, we hear you. I'm just going to put my crystal on that book. There we go. So, present moment. The moment in which you find yourself right now. So present energy. What does the viewer need to know about present energy? A partnership for the new age. It is time to welcome it. So you could be manifesting love here. And this card, which I was hearing is your future outcome, does talk about you crossing the bridge with someone else. We also have something about your deepest desires constrain you. So you could have a very fixed mindset on what the perfect partnership would be, or how things should happen, or how things won't happen. You could be in a negative mindset here. It reminds me the other day when I was talking to you guys about manifesting, and instead of manifesting a specific person, you should be manifesting, you can still manifest that person, but instead of like manifesting that specific person, manifest how you would want them to show up to align with you as your higher self. Like manifest their higher self through like listing, I gave an example, I want to say traits, but instead of like, I want to manifest Bob, random name, back into my life. Instead of saying that, manifest someone who's healed, someone who can give you reciprocity, someone who is, you know, living as their highest self, if that makes sense. So, a partnership for the new age is coming towards you. $30, which will be number 3. Oh, master, no, that's not right. 30. So your power animal for the next 21 days is a hare or a rabbit. Essential oil that you can work with, jasmine. A healing crystal you can work with, rhodochrosite. Is that how you say it? And number 3. Number 3 indicates that now is a good time to take care of your soul families, both in this world and in others. Make contact and tell them that you love them and need them. They will hear you. You will find strength, healing, and answers among those closely connected to you. This number teaches you to look at everything, to become an observer, and wisdom will come. Number 3's energy field is about diversity, creative energy, the overcoming of duality, and understanding and seeing the world of the divine. And I just want to say, you know, it's also the energy of the Empress. So if this is love related for you, you know, if you're in a situation where you know that you shouldn't be chasing your deepest desire because your deepest desire isn't ready, if you are in an energy where you know you should be like no contact and you should be in that Empress energy, I do not chase, I attract. This is not calling for you to like reach out to that person and tell them how much you love them. And I feel like your intuition will know, but this could also be a time to reach out to those in your soul family, or reach out to those like your friends or your siblings or your parents or whoever, your children. It doesn't have to be romantic love. This make contact and tell them that you love them. This is about, to me, this is about soul connections, not just a romantic connection. And I just want to stress that like if you are in a no contact situation where you know you shouldn't be reaching out to a romantic person, I wouldn't be reaching out to them. But you could also be welcoming in soul family with this card. Anyway, I just wanted to put it out there. I just wanted to put that out there. New Age partnership is like a gentle mirror that reflects every aspect of us, helping us to negotiate the path of self-awareness more easily. In this partnership, we feel as though we can fly. It gives us the strength to believe that anything is possible, that we can grow and be a mutual support to each other. It teaches us that everyone and everything is unique and divine. This partnership begins where desire for the other person ceases. How interesting. How interesting. Because on the bottom, we have your deepest desires constrain you. So right now, you could be desiring someone and this talks about this partnership that you're desiring so much. And maybe this is for some of you who are triggered by me doing general readings, where your desire overcame like wanting to hear about general messages. This partnership begins where desire for the other person ceases. So it's kind of like you need to, if you look at this card, this person is kind of trapped by desire, and this bird is trying to free this feminine from their desire for that specific person, is what I'm hearing. And yeah, just going back to the people who are triggered by me doing general readings, the same goes when I mention new love. Just because I'm mentioning new love in a reading doesn't mean I'm telling you that your counterpart journey is over. Clearly, that's not your reading if you feel so strongly about it. Thank you, Mr. Pro. So I'm just going to, it feels like right now, current energy, you could be trying to release desire for a specific outcome. You could be trying to release the longing for a specific someone, and more so being in that Empress energy where you're attracting in something in your highest alignment. And it doesn't have to mean that it's not this person, but it's like I talk about holding on. You know, the more you hold on tightly, it prevents that thing from coming to you. But if you release it and release that desire and release that longing and focus on yourself and your own path, it allows even that person that you were desiring to come towards you. All right, let me read this paragraph again. The partnership begins where desire for the other person, that was a motorbike, where the desire for the other person ceases, replaced by a tender merging, where possession and control give way to letting go and freedom. Are you ready for this? And think about that angel number card that fell. Surrender control. The divine is in control. The universe is in control. Whatever you resonate with, God is in control. You have drawn this card because your soul path is touching that of another. The two of you will have an opportunity to combine and merge your paths for a time that will be mutually enriching. Alternatively, you may already be in a partnership now that is demonstrating the required maturity and necessary willingness to reveal itself as a partnership worthy for the new world. Examine yourself and do whatever is necessary in order to live in and enjoy such a partnership. Only those who give their partner everything that they would like for themselves can receive the same in return. And think about it, we've been talking about reciprocal energy. And if you're with someone who hasn't matured yet, or someone who isn't ready for that level of partnership, that all that love that you're pouring into them, if they don't reciprocate it, it creates an energetic imbalance. So right now you may find yourself in a situation where you weren't being met with that reciprocal energy, because once this, whatever you're desiring here, is ready and mature and in alignment, then this person will give to you just as much as you give to them. Your partnership will be a mirror for all of the partnerships in the new world that will emerge in the future. However, this card is also telling you, interesting, there could be action coming towards you. So it could be that once you release the longing, that's when whoever this is shows up in your energy. You are the creator of all that is or is not in your life. It lies in your own hands. And this doesn't have to just be about romantic partnership. It could be about a friendship or a soul contract, like a friend. All right. So we're going to see the current yet unresolved problem, something that is blocked. So this one says interpret this card negatively. Interesting. And work intensively with the recommended soul helpers for 21 days. And the soul helpers are those things that I like, the number, the animal, the oil, the crystal. So this one is going to be very important, that whatever animal comes out, whatever crystal comes out, these are things that you should look into, especially the animal. Like look up the spiritual symbolism of the animal, how you can embody that energy. Yeah. So unresolved problems, something that is blocked and wants to heal. Something that is blocked and wants to heal. So we have tear down the walls around your heart. So something that is blocked could be your ability to receive, or like guarding your heart. It could be that you're connected to someone who has their heart guarded, that wasn't able to receive your love and reciprocate it. It could be that this feels like it's tying into those other readings, where this could be about how you're really good at giving, but because you've been giving to connections and relationships and situations that don't give back to you, you've never learned how to receive, and it can be uncomfortable to receive. We also have nature is calling you. So it feels like there's a need to ground your energy and maybe spend some time in nature, which we also talked about in those other readings. So 32, so your number is going to be 5. Yep, 5. So your power animal is the rabbit. So you are being called, oh, we have a hare and a rabbit. But anyway, I know there's a difference. You are being called to work with the energy of the rabbit. And the oil you should be working with, sandalwood, healing crystal, rose quartz. Yes, rose quartz. I have a little stitch rose quartz here. So work with rose quartz, or get yourself a piece of rose quartz to work with for the next 21 days. Heal your heart. I'm hearing blocked heart chakra too, so maybe you have a blocked heart chakra. Number 5. Number 5 tells you that you have a deep connection with the divine source and that nothing can prevent wisdom from finding its way to you. Your current priorities are fidelity, reliability, and loyalty. Focus on them and concentrate on healing them in both the world and in blah, 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 blah. Concentrate on healing them in both the world outside and your inner world. Number 5 brings protection, giving you the freedom to act more boldly. Its energy field is centering, bringing the strength that always recognizes and recreates itself at the end of a soul path, along with meditation, belief, and insight. So this could also be about you learning how to give that love to yourself, because that can be uncomfortable too. And one thing I'll say is do something nice for yourself in the next 21 days. Maybe even try and make it a habit, like every day do something nice for yourself to show yourself love. Even if that's as simple as, self-care, taking a nap, going outside, because that other card talks about nature, buying yourself something. Like that's a block that I had is I was really good at, I've always been like, one of my love languages was giving gifts. And I'm the type of person who like takes mental notes when somebody says they like something. You know, I put a lot of effort. I've always enjoyed giving to others. But then when my birthday would come around, I would feel really awkward about receiving presents, to the point where there were some birthdays where I like didn't want to open the presents because I was uncomfortable with receiving. And, you know, one of the things that I learned a few years ago is I was always great at getting my kids things that they needed, getting them gifts. Anybody else, you know, be there for them. But when it came to showing that kind of love to myself, I was really bad at it. So I actually, I guess it's called exposure therapy, but I kind of tried to start showing myself that love and, you know, trying to gift myself small little things like my little figurines, because if you've spent your whole life giving, it can be uncomfortable to receive because it's almost foreign to you. But anyway, seriously, I wish I could talk to you guys all day about this kind of stuff. So I'm going to read this to you because your power animal is the rabbit, and it's Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. The rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. So this could be about maybe what's blocking you or needs to be healed is your limiting beliefs or your fear that you will never have that partnership that can reciprocate your energy, or you will never have your deepest desire, or you will never be with your counterpart, or yappy dog. You could always be expecting the worst. And I used to joke and say, well, if I expect the worst, at least I'm prepared either way. But when you expect the worst, you start manifesting the worst. Anyway, and this talks about it. He talks and talks and talks about it. The rabbit talks about this eagle swooping down to eat him. So loudly, in fact, that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. So it's like if you're putting that energy out there, that's what you're attracting in. It also says like afraid of everything. So you could be very afraid of certain things. You could be afraid of letting your guard down. You could be afraid of... I'm more so hearing like negative thinking, but anyway. Rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most often about the future. So it could be that you need to release control over how you think the future should look, when you think it should all manifest. And we become our own worst enemy. We spin up a dusty cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and words. Oh, rabbit, they shape your destiny. So if you're having that negative thinking, like try and replace it with positive thinking. And that's what I used to say in my love readings. Instead of typing in, they will never change, they will never come back. Leave out the never. They will change. They will come back. Words are spells, right? Where is that from? Words are spells. I feel like that's from a movie. And you know what? If you find yourself complaining, stop. Like imagine a stop sign. Yesterday, I had to go to the doctor, and for the first time in like years, I put on the radio. And all the host was doing was complaining. It was like, what is your problem, dude? Like, he was just complaining about how cold it was. And isn't it supposed to be summer? And pretty soon we'll have snow. And he was just complaining and complaining and complaining. And I get that. I guess people like listening to people complain. I don't know. I find it very low vibrational. So if you find yourself complaining about something, oh, this is taking too long, flip the narrative, put a positive spin on it, not talking about toxic positivity, but like think about all you can do. In the meantime, you can live your life in the meantime. Anyway, just wanted to bring it up. It also says when out of balance over-explains. So you could be someone, we talked about that the other day, who has a tendency to over-explain. That comes from a place of never feeling heard or understood. To bring into balance, a day of silence. So it could be that you're consuming, if you go on Instagram or TikTok, there's a whole lot of negativity over there and fixed mindsets. So it could be that you need to take like a little mini break from social media with all that those negative narratives. Anyway, let's get back to your reading. A sense of security and of belonging, feeling happy, warm, and safe are all we need to make a warm, comfortable home for ourselves. And this is what's blocked for you. So you may not feel secure. You may not feel happy being alone. The Hermit is about learning how to be okay being alone, being happy in your own energy. And that takes time. It doesn't come instantly. You may not feel warm and safe alone, right? That's what's blocked here. Your soul path has now led you here. Remember, when I'm reading this, we're looking at it as this is blocked. So this is where your soul path is trying to lead you. Your true home, which will provide all of these, is now ready for you. Be prepared to recognize it gratefully. It is wonderful. And this is talking about your higher self. This is talking about that Nine of Pentacles energy, and this is what's blocked. So once you come home to yourself, 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment. That comes from within. Happiness, feeling loved, it all needs to come from within. It always makes me sad, and I used to be someone like this, so I understand, but it makes me sad. Like, I watch these reality TV shows, I see it in my comment section, people saying, once I met them, I realized what it truly meant to feel loved, and I'm nothing without them. No. You have to be that love. You have to find that love within yourself before you can have this partnership for the new age. Otherwise, you're just going to funnel it into another person. I hope I'm making sense. And like I said, 9 of Pentacles, whatever you need is within you, not outside of you. You will find, you will, not I will never, you will. You will find a sense of security and a true home when you are at one with you. When you are at one with you. See all the people, angels, animals, plants, masters, and power animals bound to you in love. Tear down the walls around you. Start building radiant bridges. Oh my gosh. So what I'm seeing is that maybe you're connected to someone who hasn't matured or who wasn't in alignment with you. It feels like what's blocking you is you still need to focus on finding that love within yourself, learning how to receive, so that when that person comes in mature or somebody else comes into your life who's ready to give to you, you can receive it. Because if you don't love yourself, it's hard to believe that someone else loves you. It is. It's really hard to feel loved by another person if you don't love yourself. Maybe there's like a honeymoon period where you feel loved. The crow is just confirming everything I'm saying. Yeah. Where was I? I got distracted by the bridge. You are compassionate and have shown that you have patience. Ooh. Does anybody else feel attacked? This is what's blocked. So you could be lacking patience. I know it's hard to have patience and trust in divine timing. I understand. I am not a patient person. I've talked about it with you. But I'm learning. I think I'll always be learning patience. Security and love will flow to you and envelop you in their cocoon. Accept everything that comes to you in order to be able, ultimately, to also share it. Become a vessel filled with abundance of security and love, then celebrate it with gratitude and joy as you reap everything you sow. From now on, wherever you go and wherever your home may be, a sense of security will always be a part of your heart. And listen, I had a weird thing growing up where I would tell my mom, I don't feel like I'm at home. Even though we'd lived in that home for all my life or a very long time, I would always say, and it was strange from a little child, but children are tapped in. They're very intuitive. But I would say, I don't feel like this is my home. I don't feel like I'm at home. I never got a sense of home. And it's because I didn't love myself. I wasn't at home in myself, which I think is why I never felt at home. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, that's what's blocked. Patience, loving yourself, knowing that that love comes from within you, not outside of you. And I think that's why people tend to overgive as well, because they're hoping to get that love reciprocated. And I'm not saying that that love shouldn't be reciprocated. It should be. But anyway, hopefully I'm not triggering you. So the third card is something in your future, and I was hearing that is in your future, so I wanted to keep it there. What do you need to know about the future? What do you need to know about the future? What do you need to know about the future? Re-energize in the natural world. And we also have on the bottom change. So we have cross the bridge of happiness, which you cross with another person, it says. And when that happens, your guides, your spirit guides are going to kind of step back. So you may be seeing less signs and synchronicities once you cross that bridge. We also have, it is time for a change. So there's some kind of change coming that's divinely guided. Number 5, Hierophant energy. And re-energize in the natural world. That's a number 1. So number 1. Number 1 tells you that you are a magician priestess, and we have the Hierophant energy number 5 on the bottom. So it could be that in the future you also have, you know, a calling or a mission as a high priestess or a Hierophant, or, you know, the ability to be a master manifester. So in order to get to this point, you will require solitude in order to fully develop the capabilities within you. So if you're alone right now, this is your time to hone all those skills and to grow spiritually like that butterfly. You need solitude in particular in order to receive your visions from a spiritual teacher clearly and without compromise. Number 1 promises success and a deep bond of the heart. It will teach you to feel the moment of creation within you and to perceive yourself as a spiritual being. So in the future, you know, I feel like you have a successful path as someone highly intuitive, highly spiritual, perhaps even doing it for your mission. And having a, what did that say? A deep bond with someone else, a deep bond of the heart. Its energy field is the beginning, the absolute being, the sum of all possibilities, the pure spirit of the subtle world. So number 1. So I almost feel like this is kind of explaining, if you're a, number 1 is way back here. I feel like this is also telling you what's going to happen before you cross that bridge of happiness. Because like I said, my guides were saying, and listen, I never used to trust that I was hearing guides or having visions. I never trusted it. That's something that's this number 1 card talks about for you, is learning how to trust your visions, learning how to trust your intuition, even if it's just like a little whisper. You know, I'd watch other readers and they'd be talking about their guides and I'd be like, what are they talking about? Like some high priestesses see guides, they hear them, they visualize them. And I had no idea what they were talking about or what they were seeing or hearing. So it can take, you kind of gaslight yourself out of it. So if you feel an inner knowing, that's it. The crow confirms again. Power animal, the bull, Taurus energy, yeah. So look up a bull. Bulls are strong. Essential oil, nutmeg, healing crystal, sunstone. I don't think I have any sunstone around me right now. All right. So this is the future. And like I said, it feels like before you cross this bridge of happiness, there is a period of isolation, which I think you're already in right now for some of you. You are connected with everything. So you will feel connected with everything, just like I feel connected with those freaking crows outside and the wind and the... I feel like Pocahontas. The Colors of the Wind, is that what that song is called? I believe that song from the bottom of my heart. Maybe listen to that song. Everything's connected. And it's so easy in this world we live in right now to doubt that and to be like, that person's just crazy. I get it all the time that I'm nuts, okay? But everything is connected. Everything, like signs, synchronicities, they all mean something. And this is showing in the future, although it looks like you're alone before crossing this bridge of happiness with a partnership for the new age, you are also feeling connected. Connected with your guides, connected with your intuition, connected with nature, connected with the crows. You are a part of the greater whole. Why am I saying hold? Your soul cries out for peace, for contact with your true inner nature. Immerse yourself in the natural world, the world that has surrounded you in this life since birth. It is calling to you. Give your inner hunter or huntress time to rest, the part of you that is restless and always looking for something, the next best thing, the next big adventure. So it feels like you stop, you release that desire and you start living in the present moment and trusting in your own abilities. This card does talk about a test. Listen to the trees. They will, Grandmother Willow. They will speak wisely to you and guide you towards your true potential. And when I was talking about how everything was connected, the wind actually started blowing, and that's why I mentioned trees, and now it's not blowing anymore. But have you ever seen people... Thank you, tree. It started moving again. I know this sounds like cuckoo crazy pants, but have you ever done that thing where you Have you ever done that thing? I would suggest connecting with the tree first. Oh my gosh, my kids and my dogs. By like grounding your energy on the tree and like sharing energy with the tree. I know I sound like a tree hugger right now, but you've probably seen it on social media and a lot of people think it's fake. But have you ever tried standing by a tree branch outside after you ground yourself and saying to the tree, I know I sound nuts, saying to the tree, if you can understand me, touch my hand. Have you ever tried that? You know I have. I don't need to put it on social media, but you know I have. Try it. Try it. Just saying. So listen to the trees. They will speak wisely to you and guide you towards your true potential. So you're on the path towards your true potential. Give yourself time to love yourself. Yes. And respect your innermost needs. Yes. So that wall comes down and you learn how to give to yourself is what I'm hearing. Once you begin to focus exclusively on following the path of your soul, you will never be powerless again. That is so the truth. Every step along this path will bring strength. I have goosebumps. Respect the decision of your soul. Your place of birth is a power place for you, not the room or building in which you were born, but rather the area and the natural world around it. Someone born and raised in the mountains will never feel as at home on a plain as they do in the hills. And the reverse is also true. And that is true. I was born by the ocean, not like on a beach. I wasn't born on a beach, but I was born in like a small fishing community, and the ocean or the basin, I don't know what it's called, was right across the street from my house. And then a few times in my life, I moved out west to the middle of Canada where it's flat and there's no water. And I was like, I felt a longing for the ocean. Like I couldn't explain it. Whoops, I'll just put you down. A secret lies in the place of your origin, your roots. This is where you can not only access your inner reserves of strength, but also experience the light of the blessing that your great mother once gave you. The natural world that your soul has chosen will always inspire you and mature all of your experiences, helping you make sense of them so that you can be clear about your deepest desires. Interesting. There may, of course, be exceptions, but such people will not draw this card. How interesting. You're very special that card came out. Confirmed by Mr. Crow. I need to name that crow. He's always out there. All right. So hopefully that all made sense. Now, I'm just going to get 3 cards of advice for you from this deck. This is from this is from my best friend who I met. She started off as someone who was watching my tarot videos, and then last year we connected, and now she's my bestie. But she sent me this deck, and it's called The Tarot of Her, a guidebook for inspiration and growth. And I felt like using it today. So I don't know if I'll take reversals because the messages are kind of for the upright. But of course, if it comes out in reverse, I will mention it because that's me. So we have the Fool on the bottom. Beautiful. Aries energy. It is challenging to shuffle. The Ace of Roots, which I think is Pentacles. So taking a leap towards your manifestation or a new beginning. 5 of Blooms, Stress and Strife. I wonder what Blooms is. I can't remember. I haven't used it enough. Might be Five of Pentacles. No, not Five of Pentacles. It might be Five of Wands, but it was in the reverse, which is interesting because that shows resolution. All right, so let's see. We're just going to get 3 cards. That's it. Just 3. Just 3. We have the Eight of Pentacles, Mastery. Love it. Eight of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards. Are blooms? Yes, blooms are fire. All right. So we have the roots, which are pentacles. Virgo could be symbolic. Practice makes master. Truth. What's your level? Your reflection question. What's your level of dedication? And I feel like this could be about your mission. Self-discipline, mastering a skill, diligence, developing proficiency, repetitive work, doing what you love, attention to detail, training. So you could be doing some of those things right now. For me, learning tarot was very repetitive, but that's how I learned. Just like pulling cards, looking up. I used one guidebook because if you use multiple guidebooks, it can get confusing. So to start, I don't know why I'm telling you this. Maybe you want to learn how to read tarot. I picked a guidebook that spoke to me. And then I just kept drawing cards, looking it up, drawing cards, looking it up, drawing cards, looking it up. And it became like a habit, but it was very repetitive. All right. With one hand, blah, 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 blah. With one hand on her heart, our heroine conjures magic over her ritual work table. Ritual work table, get one. An emblem of the sun guides her spirit while her dedicated mental state showers water over the roots she's given birth to. Her next creation grows within as her familiar... Within as her familiar protectively sits on the tree above. There's a little black cat on the tree. Developing a skill set to the utmost degree takes continual repetition. In the Eight of Roots, we see the diligence required to reach mastery. Success depends on an individual's dedication to refine their raw talent. Humility is needed while learning, as no one is great out of the gate. And I always say, grow as you go. To achieve this level of proficiency, we must have the patience and self-discipline to show up and do the work daily. Hammering away at the same thing day after day isn't appealing to all, but if we love what we do, we'll never work a day in our lives. Reaching the finish line is never the point. Once a job gets too easy or monotonous for the spirit, we must challenge ourselves to advance to the next level. That's funny because I was going on about how I wanted to branch out and do like general readings, and I've been doing zodiac readings. I will do a pick a card soon. It's just summer is very difficult with 4 children. This steady, lifelong commitment to realizing a personalized vision of excellence will one day become our legacy. I love that. And she's got a crystal ball. She's cool. I'm going to take that card. All right, what's another one? A card of advice for the viewer. Card of advice for the viewer. I'll take that one. So we have the Sage of Stems. Fire of Water. Sage of Stems. Stems is water energy. Page, Knight, Queen, King. Interesting. All right. The Five of Cups is on the bottom, so this could have to do with your emotions. Balancing on one knee, our heroine rides the stormy waves of her clamshell. Her cosmic bodysuit shows she is still affected by all that is, but doesn't let it overcome her. So there could be some, like with the Five of Cups on the bottom, there could be some emotions that you feel like you're drowning in right now, or that are very heavy. You could have unresolved emotions around a loss that has happened with the Five of Cups on the bottom, or regret. Anyway. A stem with a controlled flame magically levitates above her hand, and the phoenix mask displays her regenerative healing power. Phoenix! The Sage of Stems structures the wisdom of intuitive flow in an attempt at emotional mastery. She's the alchemist blending fire and water, the two most powerful elements. These elements are natural opposites, and the sage must perfect how she balances the two. Much like an experienced surfer would expertly ride a powerful wave. Her goal is to transmute emotion responsibility, eradicating blockages in herself and others. Much like a shaman who works as an intermediary vessel for higher forces, she formulates a healing space to help others come into their spiritual power. Developing this has had its challenges. Through life's up and downs, she gained the maturity to put primal emotions to good use instead of letting them bottle up, to eventually turn into a tidal wave that destroys whatever is on its path. So this is linked to like emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, keeping calm in, emotional situations, but that doesn't mean bottling up your emotions. I have to be clear about that. So that's the King of Cups. And one more. We have the Nine of Leaves, and look at what came out again, the Five of Wands in reverse. So you may be anxious right now. Nine of Leaves is the Nine of Swords, and that does talk about anxiety, sleepless nights, anguish. But this Five of Wands in reverse is showing that this conflict will end, that there will be a resolution. Ten of Stems, Ten of Cups energy. So there will be, emotional fulfillment here, Ten of Cups. Possibly after doing, inner healing. Releasing the blockages, emotional blockages we were talking about with that card. The end of conflict is near, my friend. Never fear. The end of conflict is near. Gemini. Extreme anxiety, agonizing thoughts, overwhelmed by fear, expecting the worst, and trauma. So that's what I was talking about with the bunny, expecting the worst. And the Five of Wands in reverse is showing that these blockages will clear, leading to emotional fulfillment. That's interesting. Darkness fills the cosmic body of our heroine as she reaches her hand up in petition to the gods. Her discomfort is evident as she lays on a prickly patch of cactus while a wolf pushes her further into the pain. The destructive power of Mars hangs high in the night sky. The Nine of Leaves can be a painful place to be, whether stemming from trying external circumstances or the cruelty of a runaway intellect. There is a succumbing to our inner anguish. Negative thinking and the entertainment of worst-case scenarios propels unsettling anxiety. Mental projections based on harsh judgments or a sense of guilt play on our unconscious fears. Living in the intensity of these nightmarish thoughts can keep anyone up at night. Real trauma and cruel encounters can also live here, continuously replayed in the mind in an unproductive cycle of perpetual torment. The challenge is to acknowledge these patterns of mental suffering and redirect the narrative constructively. Facing our demons head on rather than indulging them will help put them to rest. And this is reminding me of something that I always used to talk about, which is your ego monster. So when you start imagining worst case scenarios and you give that little voice, that negative voice, power, you're essentially giving it a cookie. And the more cookies you give it, the more cookies it wants. So you need to stop feeding that ego monster. You need to stop feeding these negative thoughts. And I know it's easier said than done. But it's about, you can change the narrative. You can reprogram the narrative up there. And I talked about that in a reading the other day. All right. I'm just going to get you a few angel number cards. Whoa, tower moment. A few angel number cards for you. This is a big deck. So what advice do you need to hear? Inner strength. Oh my gosh, that's a lovely card. Positive results are ahead. And you had all of these. You had a 1, a 5, and a 3 come up in your power numbers. Positive results are ahead. You have declined the right thing at the right time. Your angels are applauding this recent focus on self-discipline. Yes! The toxic things you say no to produce positive results in the long run. And by making these decisions, you are telling the universe you are worth the effort it takes. Remember, I talked about that in that reading the other day. That when you stop putting up with less than you deserve, you're communicating to the universe that you know you deserve more. Anyway, sit in gratitude as you reflect on the goodness you've done for yourself when you've said no to something that isn't for you. Yeah, love it. So what angel number does the viewer need to hear? Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Stay. Protective magic. Your prayers are heard. You're being protected. 444. That's one of my favorite numbers. You are being heard. Be assured that your angels are guiding you, surrounding you, and answering your prayers for protection. It might be a time of struggle, but you are being led into the light by divine forces. Take a moment now to thank your angels for their protective presence in your life. Advice. The signs are everywhere. Everywhere. Why can't I speak? This is an alert from your angels. They are around you with strong messages as how to proceed in a tricky situation, and they will use anything they can to reach you. Your angels can be crafty, so prepare to be surprised. Repetition is their favorite way to hit a message home. Communicate. Say what you need to say. Your angels are encouraging you to communicate your wants, needs, and thoughts to the people around you and who love you. Yes, but remember what I said about that first card. It doesn't have to be about someone you're in no contact with. Think of a change that could make a relationship in your life stronger. Tell the person you love about it in a way that they can hear. And then we have expansive thoughts. Consider a new perspective. A simple change in perspective will shed light on a situation before you. Open your mind to hearing and seeing new interpretations of what you are currently dealing with. Your angels will work through curiosity, inspiration, and even other people to relay their message. Write down all of your inspired thoughts in this moment, no matter how inconsequential you may think they are. One of those messages could be in this reading, right? All right, so I'm going to leave it here. My friends, I am sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.